joking, but you can't tell somebody that they're making shit fit you. Oh.
So you have Joe telling Flip how many times you want HR to look the other way, and then you have Flip shooting back talking about payouts. Very, very messy. Very, 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 very messy. Hands. We'll go with some of these hands.
Fuck it. We'll go Sheena, failed breakdown, witty, and then juice. Pardon me if I don't see any other hands, but that's all I see on my board right now.
Hey everyone.
Hey Sheena.
For this particular, like, are we just talking about like what we think about Flip? About the exchange about the payouts, because I thought that that was definitely about the girl from the podcast that's not there anymore on the network. I think her name is Olivia. I thought that was for sure bringing that up. But I also think that if Mel's not there, that she probably did also get some sort of payout. I think regardless of how things ended with Mel, I think Joe would send her on her way the right way. My assumption. That's just what I believe based on how he. I don't know. That's just the vibe I get about that.
I agree with that part because
You
I
know what I
believe
mean?
he said something recently on a podcast talking about the best way he's been fired, and it involved a severance. So I
Yeah, and even so, it's like he's. I think he even alluded to like when the Roy Mall thing happened. It's like he couldn't force certain things that are just in the contract just because his attorney like basically makes him put it in there. But no, I'm not gonna like force you not to be on the air somewhere else for like a year. Like typical broadcast things that are in contracts like this, he'd rather just if you don't want to be here, don't be here. Like that seems to be his vibe. What I think also that he does sometimes is that he mixes being Joe from the Joe Button podcast with also being, you know, you're still a huge, I mean, the joke is, oh my God, yes, we know you're a huge platform, but you're still a huge platform. So it's like you are a huge platform, but you're kind of stuck with like one foot in that world and the other foot in like I'm the boss of my friend's neighborhood. You know what I mean? So I think he struggles with that and how he handles things.
Thank you, Sheena. Thank you. Thank you. Gonna go with Juice Wayne. What up, man?
Here, I'll try to be quick. I feel like they should have addressed it, and I feel like the fact that they didn't is probably something behind that. Now, if the question is, was it Mel deciding to leave on her own, or was it something else? We all saw the video of Mel on the fucking event. I feel like that was all shots, all subliminals. When she had the green dress on, shout out to the green dress. But from Maritza to Melissa to Rory and Maul, he got to be careful on how people lead a pod because I'm fearing that he might not beat the allegations. And shout out to Melissa Ford wherever she go, but I feel like that video she did when they interviewed her on the carpet was definitely shots. But I
I
think
agree
it's
with
that
that.
for sure.
I agree. Some people did say that under the comments there, and when it was discussed, I think on our subscriber only playback. Join us on playback. We'll be there right after this space ends. Make sure to you join us there for the full week podcast. But when we did our subscriber only tier discussion, a lot of people did mention that a lot of that could be shots.
question.
Go ahead.
Um, if it's shots, then how can there be an NDA? Can you do shots in an NDA?
Oh, absolutely. You talk around it. She didn't say anything that would get her in trouble. She just kind of, it was like what she didn't say was most important. Like when she was, I think the comment was something like, I've been places where I wasn't appreciated, or maybe not that language, but basically she was saying like, where
This
I
is where I
am
belong.
now, these are my
I found
people.
my people. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
understood here, which would suggest other places you've seen me, I wasn't understood. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I think that's how you get around the NDA is by not taking direct shots. You do the subliminals.
Right. You
Just
Now,
do
like
it
the
very,
if there
very,
unfollow,
is
just
very.
no
like, yeah.
if okay, so here's my taking a further question. Let's say there is no NDA and right now it's just subtle shots, but then eventually like she does a talk or something or an interview, she talks about it. Do we want to hear Joe like talk about it? Like if there's no NDA, do we really want to hear what Joe has to say about
Yeah,
or
I'm
what
talking
she has
about
to
it
say?
now. Yeah, we want to hear him talk about it now.
I just feel like that's just gonna lead. Like I'm under the. I really feel like everybody needs to go their separate ways because I just feel like it could get so messy if they don't.
Well, that's
Yeah,
whose
they
fault
are
is it?
going their separate ways. Like, yeah, you go over there, I go over here. I'm still talk shit about you while you over there, though.
Right,
I'm
right
also
before I
not
make my
I'm
way
not
to my
super
corner.
mad that they didn't address it on Saturday's pod, only because we don't know when the final thing jumped off, right? We didn't Nobody noticed that Mel took the JBP out of her bio until late. That decision could have been made after they already recorded. And so the only response he could have had was to take her to have Parks or E or whoever does the graphics for the intro to just take her out, but they had already recorded, so there wouldn't be any,
Oh,
commentary about it.
hold on, did that pod drop early?
It did. It dropped at like 10 o'clock. It was early.
10 p.m.
10,
Yeah.
10
10
p.m.
p.m.
10 p.m.
Yeah, so
I
Yeah.
whatever happened
I
on
would hate to see
Friday, yeah.
Joe get into a public
Well,
back and forth with a woman if it's messy. Like the optics of that would suck. Like even if we get all the information and it comes out that like whatever right or wrong is, Joe is on the right side, it's still gonna be bad for him because it's just like you're a man in a public beef with a woman. So like if it's something really, really fucking salacious, I would hate to see that play out in public. But also too, like, do you guys remember when the leak happened and then Mel kept coming up to the pod talking about how mad she was that she re-signed her contract before the numbers came out? And then like she even did an appearance on the Mark and Ian show on one of the greatest episodes
Great
ever. You know
episode.
what I'm saying?
Amazing
The like
episode.
just pure
Man.
cinema, like you know what I'm saying, Martin Scorsese type shit. And now it's kind of like what are the legal ramifications of that? Like did she actually sign the contract, and in that contract did she only sign because maybe there was something in there, going back to the clip that Dash played about HR, is there something in her contract that she gave herself an escape route just in case she wanted it, and just kind of like maybe there was some type of payout or amicable split, and she could talk about it or she can't talk about it. Maybe she didn't get what she was going to get paid fully had she stayed. Maybe it was only a percentage or something like that.
I just want to add before they answer that Joe is in a public dispute with a woman almost every month.
Yeah, but it
So
sucks every time though. Like,
it's not a good look every
yeah.
time, and I agree
It's
with
not.
that. And I don't think it would be like just like the other ones that you guys are talking about. I think it would be like a professional kind of an explanation as to what happened. I don't think it'll be like a mudslinging back and forth. Maybe a one-sided from her side. I don't know yet,
yeah, I
but
love it when it's Mandy.
Yeah, at least it's entertaining to some degree. Dash, you want to get to the hands to progress this or what?
Yeah. Yeah, let's keep going. Again, high chair is gone, liability is gone. No more flip sitting between Ish and whoever is on
What do
his
you mean
left.
liability is gone?
And, like the chair itself, having somebody seated there, adjusting her mics, looking at her phone,
Flip
touching.
is still there, man. He
But
ain't go
he's
nowhere, man. He
the
like, what are
oh
you
the
saying? Liability is gone.
No,
Flip
I
is still there.
understand. It's
You think he
almost like
doing
He's
the
it's
saying
same
he's
setting
shit?
saying that he's no longer in
parameters.
the position to
Yeah.
do those things. Like that
You
high chair.
don't think he is?
Hey, look,
from across the room.
they still have they still have conversations in their kitchen that
Flip
they're
could
way in
do
front of their
damage from
camera.
anywhere, no matter where he is.
They
If he in the room,
he still he still found ways to like take some of them kitchen conversations and put them on that camera.
But it's almost like you remove the knives from children's hands when you don't want them to cut themselves. So maybe taking that middle chair, taking the high chair, is like, okay, maybe if you can't sit on your
Mm,
perch and stop yourself from looking at her phone and then speaking
mm.
about it, okay, now we're going to take away the perch, and now you have to just sit on the same level, not even beside her, and then control yourself that way.
You gotta sit
Are
Copy
we
next to
that.
going? Hold
Corey
on,
now.
whoa, whoa. What about Joe being part of the liability? We acting like Flip did all this. Like this was a tag team thing.
That's fair.
No, hundred
Like
percent.
what? What are we saying?
No,
Copy.
100%. No, I agree with you. I'm
Right.
just saying that.
Hi.
Uh,
Copy. Flip is a
seating
child.
him next to Corey is, he sent him, he sent him, he's far. He sent him far. And there was another time on, I believe it was the Saturday pod, where Flip made a joke about him staying, and he's like, "Oh, they're gonna say this is Webinity, and that's why I'm still here."
Right.
And then Mel's gone. He didn't say Mel's gone, but he's saying that he's still there.
Mm.
You
Right.
know,
Next up, we got we'll go with Witty, Wool, Miss Kill, and then Petty. Appreciate y'all being patient.
Appreciate that, Stag. Good afternoon, everyone. So I have like 3 points to make. So I'm kind of with Nick Nack. While it's really naive to take a take like this, we haven't heard anything from Joe. Joe ain't said nothing. So it was still assuming that Mel is gone, even though there are multiple signs that she is gone. Right. Whether Joe addressed it or not on the Saturday pod, I'm not surprised because I think it's an opportunity to address it, and I think there's an opportunity to create some content when you address it. So I don't think he would pass that up and just let it just move on without saying something. My second point, as far as like payouts and NDAs, a lot of that stuff gets negotiated when you actually sign your contract initially. There can be addendums you can put to it that kind of change it. If you talk about a buyout where you want to breach your contract early, that's something that would be arbitrated, whenever whenever you want to leave. My last point is a question to the mods. I think I checked before the space is open, and Mail is actually still in the banner in the community, and Mona has not been added. So my question to y'all is: Have do you guys have enough information as far as Mail leaving to where y'all feel comfortable taking her down out of the banner?
We will reach out to that
Hell
pesky,
yeah.
pesky page.
Yeah.
We,
We took. I didn't even think about it. Yeah, we got to get her off
she
the list.
yeah,
gone.
yeah. We will reach out to that pesky, pesky page and see if they can put some nasty, crude shit together. I guess. But
Oh wait,
Yeah,
y'all don't control
there's
y'all
no
don't control the
JBTV
community?
times
It'll
this
be
week.
changed.
So
it'll be changed for sure.
Yeah.
And Witty, hell no, we don't control that pesky, nasty
Oh damn, I didn't
page.
know
I,
that.
I
My
don't,
bad, my
I don't,
fault.
I
I
don't,
thought
I,
that was y'all
I
shit.
don't, I don't want no parts of that. Damn, the orange
I was
page,
gonna
the
say,
orange joint.
that page should be
Hell
leaving
no.
people
Oh, the
off.
orange joint. No,
Shit.
I'm talking about the other one. I'm talking about the community, the JBT Joe Button
He's
TV
talking about
community.
the banner in the community.
It'll get changed.
Trust me,
It'll get
trust me, it'll
changed.
get changed
Gotcha.
by whoever runs that pesky, pesky
Uh,
page.
Now they don't, they don't. Everyone, all of us have careers and shit. So I was like, all right, when they get to it, they'll
Yeah,
get
yeah, of
to it.
course, of course, of course,
So
of course, of course,
yeah.
of course.
Um. Yeah. Moving on. Next hand. Wool, and then Petty.
Yeah, Wooly. Sorry if I messed your name up
All good,
again,
man.
man.
It's Wale. I
Is a
noticed.
Wole?
that's a
Wooly,
wall.
Space
Yeah,
Wale. What up,
I
man?
noticed. Alma kept laughing too. Uh, it's a Nigerian thing, but it's fine. I had a few points. First of all, I love this community. I feel like I say this all the time because when I try to talk to friends or family who don't watch the pod about stuff like this, they be looking at me like, what?" So this is hella fun. I think okay. So I have a few points. I think that if this was regular Joe, he would have been talked about this, right? I think Joe is biting his tongue. This is not like him. I think Joe has someone in his ear. My guess is it's his lady who's telling him don't say anything right now. The reason why is when you think of Melissa Ford, I think what Mel does that is so fascinating during her time on this show is she has somehow made everyone look at her quickly as a victim, right? When, if you really think about it, nobody makes her go to the show, and none of us split the check she was getting from the show, right? Because Mel was getting dogpiled on and getting paid well for it. I do want to state that, right? And I think sometimes what Joe has realized, especially with how things went with Rory and Maul, is if he starts off going off about how things went, it will paint him in a bad light. And someone earlier said he gets in issues with women regularly, but I think it's a little different here in that it's very quick for people to look at Mel as the victim. And to be honest, there's a lot of video evidence where you see Mel getting dogpiled on, and it doesn't look pretty. It doesn't look pretty. It's very cringe, right? So I think in this instance, what Joe is doing, likely on the advice of someone else, I'm only saying that because this is not like him, is he's trying to be very professional and he's trying to see what she'll say first before he says anything else. I think the other thing too is he's trying to control the narrative as well, because there's a strategic part to this, right? I think Mel is so good that Mel has us wanting Joe to talk about why Mel left, and Mel left. You know what I mean? Like Mel should talk about why she left, right? Or if she was fired or what have you. But I think what Mel is doing is Mel, I think, plays a good game of acting like she's just off in her world. She's not paying attention to any of this. But you have to think
Uh,
about like the picture.
bruh,
Yeah.
bruh, she changed her Twitter bio to deactivated. All right,
with a
and
with,
she,
There
with
we
a
go.
period at the end.
There we
yeah,
go. Right.
yeah,
So I think she's watching. I think Mel is clearly watching. Personally, I think what Joe did, I think the reason why Mel got off the intro recently is because the month just started. I think her contract expired. And he waited till that very moment to remove her. Right. And we've noticed either at the same time or right before that she made another update to her bio, right? Removing the co host thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's literally a game of watching each other before reacting, and the fact that you have even Mark, right? Mark trying to be political and say he's talked to her, but not really talked to her. Imani keeping quiet. Everybody has probably gotten the notice that hey, we don't want to talk about this yet. Let's be very silent right now because I could easily see this getting spun as Joe having issues with another woman. He has a trajectory, or rather a history, of women leaving his network or his podcast in not the best terms. And I think he's trying to be very careful of that, especially, and this is the last thing I'll say, especially as I suspect there is some negotiations going on to further increase the business, right? I think about the New York Times article with the money and all of that. I think Joe has that in his mind as well, and he doesn't want to muddy the waters by saying something that might be taken as inflammatory against a former co-host. But yeah,
Okay,
that was all I have to say.
thank you. My bad.
Wole, Wole,
Wale,
Wale.
Wale,
I will commit your name to memory, brother.
Wale.
I
Thank you,
promise.
bro.
I'll commit it to
Thank you.
memory. I promise you. Next time I'm gonna say it right the
Uh,
very first time. What you got, Dash?
no, I wanted to ask because this was a very firm stance that she took when she was on the podcast, and you know what? Let's just talk about it. When Dory came up here, shout out to her. She was talking about, you sure Mel's coming back? You sure Mel's coming back? Right? And another thing was that she asked, do you think there's any connection between Mona's hiring and Mel getting, Mel not being there? And I do you think, because Mel was very firm on the stance that she doesn't want another woman up there, right? Do you think there's any connection to that?
I think just based off of what people will tell us, it's like, okay, well, if she did not want, and she was very emphatic about it, she did not want another, excuse me, she did not want another lady on the joint. So I guess if, let's say she did find out that she was coming, she decides, oh, really? That's what we doing? Then I guess I'm out then. On top of all the other reasons why that we broke down as to why she probably wanted to leave, if she decided to actually leave. Yeah, I think there's a connection there. Like, I don't leave a lot of this shit to coincidence. I really don't.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was wondering, and I give that same question to everybody else on stage. The hands.
Miss
Kel.
Kell is next. She's been very patient.
Yes, very patient.
Miss Kell, you go ahead, and then Nicole,
Nicole.
Petty, and then Miss Sheena, and then back to Woody.
Okay, hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am,
Yes.
loud and clear.
Oh, cool, cool, cool. This is my first time speaking here.
Welcome, welcome.
I kind of wanted to say a couple things. Um, Someone said about Mel being sensitive. Excuse me? Like, that podcast, what's his name? Ish, was it not last year you guys held a space cussing him out, saying that he's been there for the whole year and he wasn't speaking for like, let's say 7 months. He's sensitive. Ice refuses to speak about his family. He's sensitive. Queen's Flip cries about every single comment that's made towards him, every little joke that's made towards him. He's sensitive. These guys constantly, when I say constantly, speak up. Oh my god, why are people putting laughing faces?
No, you cooking,
Okay, anyways.
you cooking. Keep going,
No,
Okay,
keep
you're
cool,
cooking,
cool,
keep
cooking.
cool.
going.
Okay,
That's fine.
okay. Mel has been taking. They speak about Mel's love life, Mel's financials, and she takes it, and she always takes it. Joe goes too far with her, way too far. He doesn't push it limits like that with anyone else, not one person. To now say, "Oh, Mel's sensitive," fuck off, fuck off. No, she's not. For the past is a month, she hasn't been there for a month. She hasn't spoken about the pod for a month. Guess who's spoken about her there for a month? All of them, Queen's Flip and Joe, be making jokes that no one understands again. And you still got the nerve to say she's sensitive. No, this is what, the fifth time that a woman leaves that Joe has an issue with a woman. It's been